Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the HCAM studios for the HCAM Sports Talk Studio Edition. Our first time in the studios. We got all the guys here. Jared's on his way. He'll be joining us later on. But right now, of course, I'm Tom Nappy, the host. We got Andy Barron. We got Steve Watson. We got Morgan Donahue. And we are ready to talk some sports on HCAM Sports Talk. Guys, we're in the studio. Pretty cool. And we got some great topics we're going to talk about. But first, we got fall high school sports coming up. Teams are pretty much practicing all around the state. The golf season officially started, I believe, today. They had their first matches. You excited for the fall sports season,
Absolutely.
Steve? And why don't we go around the table just for the people that haven't watched the show before or haven't seen our great faces before, and just talk a little bit about yourselves and what you do. Morgan, we'll start with you.
Absolutely. So Morgan Donahue, Tom, thanks for having me. And we've done a couple of these on Zoom, but my goodness, you guys are much more beautiful in person. I'm part of the Westwood community, born and raised in Westwood. I was part of Westwood sports growing up. Remember, had some great battles versus Hopkinton. Ryan Slotsky was a great running back for Hopkinton back in the day. There was also, Haas Anderson, great fullback. I mean, there's so many guys to name, the Ostranders too. But, I'm still in Westwood. I cover Westwood sports for Westwood Media Center as a volunteer play-by-play, as well as Westwood Living Sports, contributing writer there as well, and have a social media account, Westwood Calls, and absolutely delighted to be with you boys here in studio.
All right, so I'm going to just jot a note, give Morgan a raise. Steve, tell the people about yourself.
Steve Watson. I live over in Mendon, Mass. Full-time I work in the lovely world of accounting. Weekend mornings, if you're driving around, you might hear me on 101.3. And I have the great privilege of being the voice of two schools, the Nipmuc Warriors and the Milford Scarlet Hawks. This will be year number 14 already over in Milford, a long time. Yeah. And year number 5 over Nipmuc. Looking forward to the fall sports season and really the school year as a whole. It's a great time of year, and it's just so much fun.
Absolutely. Andy Barron.
I'm Andy Barron. I grew up in Uxbridge, now live in Milford. I spent 20 plus years at MyFM 101.3 in Milford. I've known Tom and Steve for many years. Good to see Morgan here as well. Currently, I'm a vocational paraprofessional at Tri-County in Franklin, where I also assistant coach cross-country and track. And there's nothing like the fall season. It's so much fun. You got football. You've got nice weather for the most part. And just really looking forward to a great season and hopefully finally dethroning this guy.
We'll see about that.
It was close, but someone's got to take him down. So maybe it'll be me.
Quite possibly. You did win one year, so I believe you did.
Yeah, I think a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. But we'll be talking some fantasy football on this edition. We'll have our NFL picks on our second edition that's going to air on September 3rd, just before the first NFL game of the season, which is the Eagles and Cowboys Thursday Night Football. And there's a lot of other stuff to talk about. But first, let's start off with some high school news and notes. Morgan, Westwood, they had a tremendous year last year, some great fall teams. Can you tell us any tidbits of what to expect over at Westwood this fall?
Absolutely. So right off the bat, Westwood has a new athletic director. So Rich Cardverrier, he's coming from Needham High School. He was the assistant athletic director, and right off the bat, he's been doing a fantastic job. He's jumped right in July, and has picked up everything very, very quickly. And this is the most exciting time of year, in my opinion, where summer. At some point, you're almost like, all right, I'm a little lost. Sports is kind of been a couple months behind us. What am I supposed to do? I can only play so much golf. Now we're back to what we're used to doing. Mm-hmm. Now we're back to talking about how we enjoy beating Hopkinton. Some of our favorite things to do. But you know what? Westwood is going to come back with some very, very strong sports. Boys and girls soccer is going to be terrific this year, which is always a strength for Hopkinton. Football, a lot graduated last year, but I think you're going to be surprised about the talent that Westwood brings this year from a football perspective. When I mentioned boys soccer, they got a new coach as well, but they have a lot of guys returning there. They're healthy, which they weren't in previous years. But this is probably one of the more exciting sports seasons in Westwood, just because you looked across country. And, Andy, our girls cross country, the reigning defending Division II state champions for cross country. And they got a lot of pressure on them this year.
Sure.
And I'm telling you, these girls know how to handle it pretty well. They work very, very hard, and they are dedicated. I walk the track late at night because, we're on the wrong side of 35, so I find ways to keep moving. And they're still there after hours practicing. So keep an eye on them, the boys as well. And I was at the golf. I was at golf earlier today. Westwood took on Norwood and Wayland, a little tri-match, and a good start there. So I am absolutely fired up. I cannot wait to do some more collaboration with you.
Absolutely.
I had a pretty good record last year, but you had a good finish. But now the slate is clean, 0-0 between
right.
Westwood and Hopkinton. So we'll see how it goes this year.
Yeah, I think it was you took the fall games and the winter ones, and
Yes.
I took a bunch in the spring.
Took some playoff ones
Kind
too.
of made up for it.
Yeah.
Right, and we'll certainly have some more collaborations. The rivalry announcers, Hopkinton
Yes.
and Westwood.
A lot of fun.
Steve, you do a lot of work with Milford, Nipmuc, as well as a number of other schools with MyFM. Any tidbits about the teams that you cover you'd like to mention? I understand some great athletes coming back for both Milford and Nipmuc.
Yeah, and both of the football teams looking to improve upon last season. Milford went 3-5, did make the playoffs and won a playoff game, but obviously you'd like to do better than 3-5. And they lost some players from last year. That's happened before, so you look to replenish. All of us around here know Milford does not back down from anyone. They play a tough schedule. There's no cupcakes on there. And they play in the HCAM, which of course is a very tough league to begin with, and they schedule very hard in the non-conference.
Yep.
Nipmuc, 2 years ago they had a winning record for the first time in a while. Last year, kind of a step backwards, looking to rebound there this year. Was there over Milford on Saturday morning? They had a scrimmage against the Mustangs at Medway High School. Overall, they look good, and going into a scrimmage, you don't really know what to expect.
Right.
You just want to see things run efficiently. And watching the JV team last year, maybe a little more balanced, and they were able to do that Saturday. Pretty balanced offense. Things ran smoothly. There's always some mistakes in scrimmages, but you'd rather those happen in a scrimmage than during the season. So, and as for Medway, they really couldn't get much going offensively. No real traction. Milford offensively really did what they wanted to, and you could hear the Medway defensive coaches towards the end really getting on their guys. Encouraging some more pushback and stuff. So it's just a scrimmage.
Yeah.
But I will say this with scrimmages in my years over at Milford, the stuff that goes wrong during scrimmages often goes wrong during the season, and the stuff that goes right during scrimmages often goes right during the season. So this is not like pro football preseason where it really is meaningless. Scrimmages for high school, it's meaningful. That's meaningful work.
Yeah.
So it's an exciting time of year. That's just a controlled scrimmage. We'll have a game scrimmage later on this week. And some schools will have some next week. And, of course, the regular season starts next week for some teams, too. It's a great time of year. I can't wait.
Well, I believe it was Coach Belichick who once said that the season doesn't actually start till October.
Yeah, September's an extension of the preseason. I think some folks we'll talk about the pros in a little bit, but I think the Cincinnati Bengals took that a little too seriously the last few years.
Well, we'll see if they take it seriously this year.
Yeah.
They've had a pretty good training camp, it looks like. Andy, you're over at Tri-County. What's going on over there?
So cross-country season is underway. We just started up with practice, and as Morgan, I'll piggyback off what he said. Yeah, Westwood's always had a stellar cross-country program. They've had it for many, many years. We're in Division III, so we're a step down, but still very good competition. We will scrimmage against Franklin on Friday over at Dacey Field, a very nice area that we train over there. And the boys are looking for a three-peat this year in the state vocational championships. And the last time that boys cross-country three-peated was from 1980 to 1982.
Wow.
Which is a long time ago. It shows you how hard it is, no matter at what level, to do something like that. And so our boys team's looking really good. Our girls team also looking strong this year as well. Tri-County football also winning the state voc last year for the first time in school history, defeating a very good Blue Hills team that was kind of their thorn in their side for a few years, and that was a really impressive win. They're returning a good amount there. And also, I wanted to bring this up too, but Blackstone Valley Tech football, that's actually my alma mater. I know he's not a big fan of
Or
it, but
as we call it,
Rivalry right
the
here.
Battle of Pleasant
UBT
Street.
and Denmark.
school across the street.
yeah, the school across the street. But Anthony Landini is a tremendous coach. Jim Archibald was a tremendous coach there for many years. They're going for their 16th straight playoff appearance this year, which is, I don't care what level that is phenomenal. That is such a hard thing to do. And it'll be interesting to see if they can pull it off.
Absolutely, that's tremendous. So some great things happening around at the local schools. Of course, Hopkinton, they're getting things started up. They're in the midst of a number of the tryouts and scrimmages. And it was just recently announced that the two of the now graduated Hillers, Maddie Recupero and Nina Tizia, Hiller Girls Soccer, they got they were named Scholar All-Americans by the United Soccer Coaches, which is a very rare honor. So congratulations to Madison and Nina. They will certainly be missed this year. I'll say this about Hiller Girls Soccer. They got a lot of good skill coming back, but they're going to be younger this year. They lost a lot of seniors last year, but they have some incredible freshmen and sophomores working their way up through the ranks. So that will be some exciting stuff. And Hiller football is returning a good amount of their talent from last year as well. I think they're going to be very competitive, and they got a big match with Westwood.
Looking forward to it.
Towards the end of October. So
Yep.
that'll be a good one. I believe that's a Thursday night match.
Yes.
So that'll be a fun one.
Is it Halloween? Right around Halloween?
I think it's the day before Halloween. It was initially Halloween, and then I think they realized, oh, yeah, we can't do it on
I think we might get the costumes out. You know?
Right?
We'll have to do some kind of.
Have to.
Oh, I'm
right?
sure the student section will, that's for
Yes.
sure.
Well, we got to participate as well, you know, or we'll make a side agreement on whoever wins. You know, we'll do.
Oh yeah, we'll have a little behind the scenes bet going on there.
Absolutely.
It'll be a lot of fun. But on this show, for those of you that haven't tuned in before, we're going to talk a little high school sports from time to time, especially as the season gets going. It's going to be mostly pro today because, the season's just kind of getting in the swing of things. But as the fall season goes on, we'll certainly be talking more and more about the local high school sports teams and some great talent around the area for sure. But I do want to dig into some of the summer action. And of course, one of the biggest rivalries every summer is Red Sox-Yankees. And it's back. It's finally back after years and years of Red Sox struggles. The Red Sox and Yankees are both right in the heat of the wild card race. And of course, they had a series this past weekend, Sox taking 3 out of 4 from the Yankees. But the Sox only a half game up in the standings at 71-60, Yankees at 70-60, and Sox 5-5 in their last 10, Yankees 6-4, so kind of similar stuff there. But I want to ask you guys, what's your thought about the Red Sox this season? And we've been waiting quite a while for them to be in such a heated race this late in the season. So what do you expect this team to do, and what would be a disappointment for this team? Andy, we can start with you on this one.
It's plain and simple. You need to make the postseason. There's just no more excuses. I don't want to hear it. We're getting into close to September. You need to make the postseason because there's a lot of people that are still not buying into this team. Me, one of them. They've exceeded my expectations. I think they've exceeded everybody's expectations. But you got to take the next step. You got to make the postseason. And if you really go around the American League, like who's that team that really, there's no great team. Like Detroit's good, Toronto's good, Seattle's good, but there's no great team. I feel like all the great teams are in the National League. I think the National League is really head and shoulders above the American League, in my opinion. But you've positioned yourself in good place, and you have a very favorable schedule down the stretch. I mean, you're playing the Pirates, you're playing the Orioles. I think you're playing the Guardians, maybe. I mean, these are games you have to win. Like, you cannot go down to this series in Baltimore this week and drop 4 in a row. You just cannot do that, and to take people seriously. But
They've had a rough time with Baltimore.
They really have. It's the Yankees they've played great against, but they struggle with Baltimore. But it's make or break it time. You've got to make the postseason, because if they don't, it's going to be a huge disappointment. Really, I mean, like, if not now, then when? Like, when are you going to take that next step? I still just don't think they have enough to get over the top. I still think the trade deadline was something that they should have done more of, and they didn't. But right now they're still winning, so I can't really, say
Well,
that.
sort of. 5-5 in the last 10. That's not that impressive.
I think the other big thing too is, though, I will go back to what I was just saying real quickly. Seattle's a team that does worry me a little bit. If you have to go out to Seattle, they do not play well there. I don't know what it is, but now if Seattle's going to come here, I feel pretty confident. But that's the only team that gives me a little bit of pause.
Yeah.
It's tough going to the West Coast. The Red Sox historically have not played well there. So that's the only team I kind of give some thoughts of. Going into Toronto, too, they don't play well there either. And Detroit still is a young team. So, again, I think this American League is wide open.
Absolutely.
And Houston, too.
Seattle's right in the mix, 70-61. So, it's what, 3 wild card spots
Right.
now.
Yep.
It could come down between Sox, Yankees, and the Mariners, as they're all right neck and neck, really. So.
And remember, you play best of 3 at home now. So if the Red Sox are the first wild card team, then I believe they go into the divisional round. I think that's
Right.
how it works. So if you have that second or third wild card, now you're playing. But if you're at Fenway, you feel good about it because the Red Sox have been so good at home. But I don't want to go to Seattle. Like, that's just the team that just kind of gives me a little bit of pause.
Absolutely. Morgan, thoughts on Sox Yankees?
I mean, I'm right there with Andy. I'm not bought in yet. You ever seen the movie Major League?
Oh, of course.
Watch it the other week.
Where you got the owners, and the owners are doing everything they can to not help the team, but they still win. That seems like the Red Sox right now, where the owners are doing nothing to help this team. I agree with the Devers trade, but they've done nothing to really bring in kind of the right players. Bregman was a good ad, but what about keeping Mookie Betts years back? I mean, this is a once-in-a-generational player, and that has changed my perspective on the Red Sox, since then. I got to give them credit, though. They're finding ways to win with young guys.
Yeah.
And these young guys are doing it on the big stage, and I feel like part of that, when you see these young guys doing it, they haven't had that scar tissue yet, to really think about all the demons of striking out with the bases loaded in a playoff game and stuff. So they're swinging very freely. Can they keep that up? Can they keep going up there and getting things done with an open and a free mind? And I think that's a really good thing to have. You got a guy like Bregman who's also teaching them hey, one game at a time, and all that. But I think what was most impressive for me is the Red Sox pitching what they did at Yankee Stadium. It wasn't perfect, but it was effective. I mean, this was a Yankees team that had 14 home runs in 2 games. I remember watching one of the games, it might have been the Wednesday or Tuesday game leading up to the series.
Yeah.
They had 7 or 8 home runs before the 4th inning was over. And I'm like, this is crazy. And you know what? It was the Red Sox were able to slow that down. So that was very, very impressive. You cannot count the Yankees out. They have so many big bats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, they have some good pitching. And I think ultimately if they just stick with a lineup in the batting order, each night it's totally different. Imagine trying to go out there and be comfortable and you don't know what position you're playing or where you are in the lineup.
Right.
It's a challenge. If you just say you're my guys and ride or die, that's where teams end up going on runs and winning. And I think eventually they'll get there. But I got to give the Sox credit. I'm kind of like the ground crew guys that when they're winning, they're still stink. But I'm moving in the right direction after this past weekend. 3 out of 4 in Yankee Stadium against the Yankees, where it matters, matters the most. It's not the most, but we're getting close.
Yeah, I mean, and if you look at the Red Sox roster compared to the Yankees roster, I mean, they're just completely different, complete opposites. I mean, the Sox are all young guys for the most part, besides Bregman and Story, but not a whole lot of experience. The Yankees, they're loaded with experience, and I didn't think at this point during the season I'd be seeing that the Red Sox and Yankees are neck and neck in the standings. I didn't think that would be the case. Steve, what are your thoughts?
So going into this 4-game series, I would have settled on a split because they lost 3 in a row to Miami and Baltimore, who are not great teams. And you can't lose to teams like that. When you're playing teams that are down there in the standings, you got to take care of business. So I would have settled on a split, and then they won 3 out of 4, so I'm thrilled about that. In terms of the buy-in, I am buying into what Craig Breslow and his staff are doing. This team had 3 All-Stars this year. They're all brought in by Craig and his staff this offseason. I'm not bought into what Alex Cora and his staff are doing. This team has too many one-run losses still. Base running is poor. Decision-making is still questionable at times. Fielding has been a problem for years, honestly. And, honestly, I think if almost anyone else was managing this team, they'd be in first place by several games. And if you look at their expected wins and losses, they should be within a half game of the best record in the American League. And this is where all those one-run losses, especially early in the season, has come back to kind of bite them a little bit. They have played a lot better these last couple months. So you give them that. But they got to avoid going back into those dips. They need more of this.
You're right.
You can't be losing 3 in a row to lousy teams.
So if they make the playoffs, does that solve how you feel about the
It's very simple. You make the playoffs, Alex Cora and his staff keep their jobs. If they don't, you clean house. I know some folks aren't happy with what they did at the trade deadline, but they're never going to overpay for pieces at the deadline. This roster, as constructed, is capable of making the playoffs. And to not make the playoffs, as Andy said earlier, there's no excuses. They're out of excuses. This is a playoff caliber roster.
playoffs?
So, if they make the playoffs, I think that'd be great. And, we're not looking for a World Series contender here. I don't think we're at that point yet. This team hasn't been playing relevant baseball in September in 4 years. So, September starts next week. We will be relevant in September, which is great. It makes September a lot more fun with football starting up. Yeah, so you make the playoffs. I think that's a good first step for this young core. I think that'd be a really helpful experience.
Let me ask you guys this. Who do you think has more pressure to make the playoffs, the Yankees or the Red Sox?
Yankees.
And I'll start. I think it's the Yankees because of they spent tremendously more money on this team. And, when you look up and down the roster, they have so many heavy hitters in that lineup, and they spent a lot on pitching. So, yeah, there's pressure on the Sox, but I think there should be big pressure if you're a Yankees fan with all that juice you got in that lineup. There's really no excuse.
They went all in at the trade deadline, too.
Yeah,
I mean, the amount of transactions they made was, I don't know if anyone, had the same amount. But one question I have for Steve is, Steve, you are our eyes and ears at the Worcester level. And I was talking to a friend the other day. He said there was some Worcester pitcher throwing like mid-90s as a lefty and doing it well. And September is typically when you start to see those call-ups from Worcester.
Yeah, you might see some calls, especially if there are some injuries in Boston or they just need some depth, stuff like that. So Worcester and Portland to start the year had pretty good rosters, but now a lot of the guys who were in Portland are now in Worcester, and the guys like Rowan Anthony and guys like that who were in Worcester are now in Boston. So, it kind of hurts the minor league product a little bit, but, you're here to win at the major league level. And, it's good to see these young guys come up and contribute already. And, the Sox are building that young core. They're trying to copy what the Braves did, essentially. You identify that young talent, develop the young talent, and then you sign the young talent to team-friendly deals, and that's how you stay in contention for.
What happened to the Braves?
They just totally fell apart this year.
Yeah,
They really did.
That's one of the surprises of the year.
I have to agree. They're not even in contention.
No. They are way down there.
59 and 71.
I got to say this too, guys. I still think the Dodgers are the team to beat. I think when the lights are on,
of course,
that team is so talented and so loaded. Like, if anybody thinks they're still not the team to beat, I think they're crazy.
So many veterans that don't care.
But the Brewers have impressed me. Yeah. I think they have the best chance, and you can't count Philadelphia out, but I still think the Dodgers are the team to beat.
Well, Brewers' best record in the league at 81 and 50, but I think you're right. I mean, I'm always with the mentality that the champion is the team to beat. Going into the NFL season, the Eagles is the team to beat.
Yeah.
They're the champs.
It's just so tough to win out in Los Angeles. Those crowds are they're loud, they're noisy. I mean, the game one ending last year was one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Oh yeah!
I mean, that was incredible what Freddie Freeman did. And it was against the Yankees too. It was even better. But I want to just comment on something Steve said just a little while ago. The one-loss games, I've never seen anything like this. This team is so inconsistent. Like 23 one-loss games. They have a 5-game lead right now. They are the Detroit Tigers right now. If you just win 10 of those games, you are running away with the American League right now. That's what's going to cost us.
And I think a large part of it was the bullpen. The bullpen would come in and just completely blow the game.
It's sloppy base running, sloppy fielding, a lot of
Never seen anything like it.
questionable managing. I feel like Corey's been tossed out several times this year. I feel almost all of them have been pointless.
Yeah.
You know, you're arguing over nonsense pretty much. So, and the reason why I'm harsh on Alex Cora is because this team has talent, and I expect a lot. I expect there to be baseball at Fenway in October, and if there's not, that's going to be an epic failure, quite frankly.
Yep. Well, I mean, we'll see what happens. Only a few games left. They're in a good spot right
Yep.
now. No excuses. Get to the postseason.
Exactly. Just make the postseason. That's it.
Tough schedule to the end. You got to go to Tampa, you got to go to Toronto, and you host Detroit.
Yeah.
So that is not going to be easy.
Nope.
And fellas,
not
if
at
we
all.
were in Tampa Bay, this would be a whole different, it's a whole different expectations. Being in Boston, we do have high expectations for our teams and what they've done. But we saw a great winning streak during this year, so we know what they're capable of when they are, getting it done.
By the way, who would have thought the Blue Jays would be on top of the East?
No one did.
I didn't see that one.
Again, another place where that place is just going to be rocking in the fall. I mean,
My goodness.
that place is crazy. Again, another place the Red Sox
Batista
not
hit that walk-off home run. You remember how crazy that place
incredible.
was?
And they don't play well there. The Sox have
That
not
bat
played
still
well
hasn't
in
landed.
that.
Nope.
Yeah, the only thing that memories I have of Red Sox, when Manny Ramirez hit to like the fifth deck.
Oh, yeah.
That little memorial.
Yeah.
up
Great place
there.
to watch a game up there.
And believe it or not, the NFL season is finally here. And on this edition, we'll have our Week 1 NFL picks. As you know, it's a season-long competition to see who will pick the best out of the 5 of us. We kicked Mike out of the competition and brought Morgan in. We needed somebody who could at least, kind of compete with us.
I pick the Browns every week, right?
Just kidding, Mike. But
Poor Mike.
we're going to pick each and every week our winners and losers in each and every NFL game. And Jared, you couldn't join us last show. This is your first show in the studio, and we gave a little introduction of ourselves to, since we're going to have so many new viewers tuning in. So why don't you give a little introduction of yourself and talk about some of your great experience covering sports.
Awesome. No, it's awesome to be here. This is really cool. This is another level for us, and I'm just so happy to be here with you guys. It's awesome. But for those that don't know me, my name is Jared Keene. I wrote for the Metro West and Milford Daily News for 15 years, and currently I write for BostonLax.net and the New England Football Journal, both of which I've had a blast writing for. So, yeah. I've experienced a lot over the last 15 plus years covering sports and high school level and everything else. So, everything from, being at Gillette a bunch to, covering some professional boxing. Just some cool experiences and, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be busy soon. Football season coming up. Some good high school rivalry games in the very near future.
Yep.
And we know you wanted to give your fantasy insight. Unfortunately, you couldn't join us last show. So who are some of your sleeper picks in fantasy football and some advice you have for our viewers?
Sleeper picks. I think sleeper picks I got Jameson Williams from the Lions.
Good one.
I love Amon-Ra St. Brown, as you guys know. He's probably my favorite player in the NFL. But Jameson Williams, I think, is going to be a stud this year. I think he's going to have a big season there. I'm also going to say Drake May and Travion Henderson.
Yes.
Both. I think Drake May could quietly put together a really nice season, and I've been on the Travion Henderson train from the start, as you guys know. The guy is...
Yeah, I said it last show. I think Henderson's going to steal that starting job right away.
He's just outstanding. So I think he could be a steal, depending on where you can get him in your draft. I'm just excited for my 2 leagues this year. I'm in a 12-team auction league, keeper league, and I'm in a 14-team league now. So just excited.
Did you have your draft yet?
No. Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah. No, my drafts were last week. Yeah. So,
All right. How's the teams looking? Good?
Pretty good.
All
Pretty
right.
good.
That's what I like to hear.
Definitely.
And I'm sure we'll be talking more fantasy football when we do our picks as well.
Yep.
But the first thing we're going to talk about today is the top 3 Boston sports villains. There's a lot of villains for Boston sports because we've had so much incredible success and have won so many championships. And of course, when you have a lot of success and win a lot of championships, there's going to be some villains. And we're gonna keep it modern day. You know, we're not gonna go back to like the Bucky Dent days and stuff like that. We'll keep it modern day sports villains. So I guess I'll start with my top 3, and then we'll just kind of go around the table and talk about who each of you have. And my top 3, well, before I decided that it was going to be modern day, I had Harry Frazee, who was the Sox owner that traded Babe Ruth. He was my number 1 because that was the worst trade in history. But he's not modern day. So my number 1 is Eli Manning. He's the top. I probably should have started 3rd, but whatever. So Eli Manning is, I think, the biggest sports villain. He prevented Brady from completing the undefeated season, which was horrible. And number 2, I'd say A-Rod, because we just did not like him at all when he played for the Yankees. Much nicer now that he's a broadcaster. He's actually a funny guy. And then number 3, I got LeBron as number 3 because I don't think anyone can stand him, no matter pretty much what city you're from. So there's my top 3. Morgan, who do you got?
I'm going kind of out of the box, and there's no rhyme or reason to it, and that's why we do it on the show, because it's unpredictable.
That's right.
I'm going to start out with Matt Cook.
Oh, yeah.
What a dirty player, what he did to Savard. Savard was never the same.
Yeah.
You know, he came back, and he had some flashes, you know, that overtime goal he had versus the Flyers. You know, that was awesome. You're like, oh, maybe he's getting there. And then he had setbacks after that. It was never the same. Not necessarily modern day, but you said Frazee, so we're gonna allow it, I guess.
We'll allow it.
Alf Samuelson, you know, what he did to end Cam Neely's career. I mean, my goodness, Cam Neely had to retire before he was, you know, basically 30 years old. He had bad knees, bad hips, and this was like going to be one of the best, you know, one of the biggest fan favorites of Boston sports history if he continued, and he still is. I mean, he gets and it's a little dicey now with him in management, you know, some of those decisions. But, you know, if we just focus on the player side, like very, very beloved, like the perfect Bruin, lunch pail, tough guy. And then I'm going to go, this is a little outside the box. But, like, you know, we grew up in the same era, graduated high school in 2005.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, like, when the Red Sox and Yankees were getting after it. Kareem Garcia, that guy talked so much smack.
Oh, yeah.
And had nothing to do with any of the games, but, like, you know, was just running his mouth. Him and Jeff Nelson too. Like
But see, I don't even remember that because you contributed nothing.
I'll tell you what. If you go back to the film, and you'll see it, and you'll be like, oh my God, like someone needs to throw a ball at this guy and stop him from. But he was, you know, Steve can attest. You know, this guy was like.
Pedro say, like, who's Kareem Garcia? That was great.
He was just a goon.
But Kareem was the guy that Pedro threw at.
Right.
Yeah.
And he comes out and he's like,
Kareem Garcia.
he was just like this, you know.
No.
He was definitely had, you know, steroids in him.
Yeah.
But he was coming out at Pedro, and that's what started, I think, the Don Zimmer.
Yep.
You're right, the Don Zimmer.
You're correct.
But like,
you are correct.
But he had been kind of like, you know, doing some, not cheap shots, but like really, you know, trying to run into first baseman and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Been, like,
okay,
really
I vaguely
adding
remember
up.
that. Yeah.
But I just, you know, it was more like it was a small thing. But, you know, I remember, as Gordie Howe said, elephant memory. So, I mean, it might be small, but not to me. I remember those heated
I
games.
like it.
And he's on my list, top 3.
Those heated games were amazing back in the day.
Oh, my gosh. Roger Clemens versus Pedro.
Oh, yeah.
Like, with those matchups.
Yeah, I mean, Clemens is probably in
The A-Rod
somewhere in the
Barrett
top
Put him
five.
on there, yeah. I mean, he's sold out. And then not only selling out, he's on the bad guys pitching against us, you know?
Yeah.
And I have a poster, and maybe we could put it on here, but I'll send it to you. Me at a kid, Pedro versus Clemens. Clemens got shelled early on. He's walking off the field, and you see a young Morgan Donahue holding this old Roger Clemens Red Sox poster. and it's a big like X through it. So I have it. It was
That
in the
is
globe,
awesome.
and I'm gonna send it to you. Maybe we add it to the.
Yes, please do. That is incredible.
That's a good one.
Andy, who are your top three
Well,
villains?
I'm going back a little bit here. I'm going back into the 80s when the Celtics Lakers were just the most insane rival probably in the history of professional sports. These teams did not like each other, period.
Yep.
Kurt Rambis.
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean, didn't he talk about like some guy from Bethune like punched him in the face in like Game 7 on the floor? He said the fans are they're just out of control. The whole thing with Kevin McHale getting clotheslined and you know.
There's a lot of fist fights.
Oh my God! There's no way the NBA would tolerate that now.
They stayed in the game too.
They did. They didn't get thrown out.
Back up, guys. You know.
Oh, I didn't mean to hurt him. It's like,
Well, maybe,
Sure.
well, maybe they need to bring some of that back. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Amp
I
it
mean,
up.
those are just, and I'm also going to go with, I don't know if you remember this player from the wide receiver from the Philadelphia Eagles, Freddie Mitchell.
First and Freddie.
This guy ever stopped talking?
No.
Like seriously, it's all, I mean, Terrell Owens was good. This guy was not good. All he did was just talk, and Rodney Harrison, I think, just laid him out. It's a travesty he's still not in the Hall of Fame. And I'm going to go with this other guy. I don't know if you remember him, but Ralph Sampson
Okay.
from the Houston
Like it.
Rockets. What he did to Jerry Seasting in the '86 finals was so Bush League, and he paid for it when he came back. Larry Bird said that the crowd was so loud in the Garden for Game 6, the building was shaking. He said, if we don't win this game, we're never going to hear the end of it. And he said it totally affected Ralph Sampson. But another guy, it just popped into my head, and I'm going to do honorable mention, Bill Laimbeer.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and Larry Bird was even saying this too, that the Garden crowd was egging Robert Parrish to punch him in the face, and the referee didn't do anything either. So what does that tell you?
They still hate each other too.
Oh, of course. I mean, the 80s basketball is nothing compared to what it is now.
Oh, yeah.
But those are just some of my guys. I mean, a lot of NBA
I like
players. But, I mean,
The-
I don't think anybody liked Bill Laimbeer. Did anybody like
No.
Bill Laimbeer? No.
I once
Nobody.
heard a
Legitimately
saying,
nobody.
In the 80s, they used to say, no body bag, no foul.
Yeah, not anymore. But yes. So those are my villains.
I like it. All right, the flashback villains with Andy Barron.
Gotta love it.
Flashback.
Gotta love it.
All right, Steve, who are your villains?
So when I did this for radio a few weeks ago, I had 17 names on this list. So it's really hard to pick up.
Yeah, it's hard.
And I do have Eli Manning as one. I got Peyton as three. So we've talked enough about Manning brothers already. So I'll give you my next three. I got Jimmy Butler up there. Pretty much single-handedly stole another ring from this Celtics core back in 2023. So he has to be up there. Up next, I have LeBron James. He's cost the Celtics a few times as well. And just overall, well, he's not exactly a lovable character, we'll say. A great player. These are all great players, but not lovable, certainly. And up next, someone who has made a living off of playing great games in the Garden, Jordan Bennington. Game 7 of the Cup, won
can't
the
stand it.
championship game,
Yeah.
the Four Nations face-off. So, yeah, just I see this list, I just see pain.
Yeah.
Is what I see.
Scar tissue.
Yes.
Were you crying as you made the list?
It was tough. This is like it's bringing back some memories.
It's a
and
tough
like,
list because we've won so much here.
Right.
There's really no
Yeah.
right or wrong
Yeah.
answers. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many
I
players.
feel like this is a therapy session.
yeah,
That's right.
Might as well be at this point. It might as well
I
be.
know.
Jared, who you got on your?
A couple of mine have already been said, but the guys that I thought of were actually Kurt Rambis. I mean, Kurt Rambis was, again, I mean, I know I just used the phrase a minute ago, but he was, again, hockey's version of a goon. You know, I mean, sort of like, again, a la, you know, Kareem Garcia, baseball's version of a goon, sort of. But, I mean, that guy was just, you know, and all the encounters he had with the Celtics again in the 80s, just so memorable, so...
11
Yeah.
Hall of Famers on those combined teams.
Yeah.
Will never be duplicated again.
And again, you could easily go with Laimbeer there too. Eli Manning, obviously. And I'm surprised this guy hasn't been said yet, but the memory for me will live forever just because, again, it was again, such a memorable moment. Aaron Boone.
yeah, that's a
I
good one.
had him on my
Yeah.
mind too. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Aaron
03.
Boone, yeah.
Nobody will ever forget 03.
Soul crushing
Yep.
loss. But they came back and won the World Series.
I mean, yes, we did win the World Series,
Got back at
a
it
year
this
later,
weekend.
but I mean, I will never forget that moment.
that was crazy.
04 was such sweet revenge.
Yes.
That was
I don't
But
think
yeah, I remember being
some
heartbroken.
nice revenge.
I really honestly don't believe anybody will ever pull that off again.
No.
I just think it's
No.
it's too
Never.
Just like the 28-3, the 3-0.
Yeah.
I just don't see it
It was
happening.
poetic. It was just
Yeah.
like
You just can't
everything
make-
that
yeah.
went perfect from there on went perfect.
Yep, I agree.
I will say I love Steve's Jordan Binnington shout. The Jordan Binnington shout is top tier. That is,
Unfortunately.
He was
un-
talking to him,
unfortunately, but that
talking
is,
along, and it's-
Steve, that's a great shout. Well
I think
done.
a lot of people would say this name too, Kyrie Irving.
Okay.
Yeah.
all there.
Maybe yes and no, but wasn't it nice to beat Dallas with Kyrie Irving on the team? And,
it was.
The fact that we won Banner 18 with him on the court.
Yeah.
Oh,
he knew
why
he
I
was
was
overmatched.
Yeah,
he
that's
knew.
why I didn't put him on the list. I didn't put Boone on the list because they won the year after, and we've knocked out Boone's Yankees teams twice.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's stuff that we've made up for. I kind of left those off the list. The ones that I put on the list, we still need some revenge in some cases.
I'd say another honorable mention, LaDainian Tomlinson. He was a pest. And he just talked trash.
Well, the best is when we got the best of him and they started. Will Fork was doing the Chargers.
That was
Yeah.
six. How did the Chargers
almost
not
turned into a
win that
brawl.
game?
Oh my God!
I would
Appreciate
never
Caldwell
know.
looking like Jerry Rice out there.
Yep.
I know. I mean, it just that was that. Yeah, I can see that. See LaDainian Tomlinson.
And you could argue that Bill Belichick became an enemy after what he did in those last couple seasons.
You just want him to be an enemy. You just want him to be an enemy. Come
I
on. We
will say, I do have
all
some
know it.
coaches
We
on the
all
list.
know it.
I did have.
I mean, he looked right at
Rex
Steve,
Ryan,
too.
honorable mention.
Right at Steve.
So I got two coaches. I had Rex Ryan on there, and then from the hockey side, Paul Maurice. His Panthers teams have just crushed the Bruins' souls.
Hurricanes too.
Hurricanes. I think his teams have knocked out the Bruins 3 times.
That team's going to
this
I don't see
century.
anybody else
Yeah.
going to beat that team. Who's going to beat that team? No team has three-peated since the Islanders in '83. I would just can't. How can you bet against the Panthers now? You can't.
Do you know how beneficial the Islanders were for Wayne Gretzky and the Oilers? So the Oilers played the Islanders and they lost in a Stanley Cup. And Wayne Gretzky walks by the locker room and he doesn't see them celebrating. He sees just ice packs and just everyone just kind of trying to get their body back to normal. And he learned from that. He said, this is what it takes to win a Stanley Cup. Like the celebrations and all that, that's coming weeks and days later. And that was so beneficial for him. And then they went on there.
Interesting.
So it was an interesting
They
story.
won 4 straight Stanley Cups. That is
Unheard of.
Insane.
unheard of.
And
That's
Mike-
like the Montreal Canadiens did in the '60s.
Mike Bossy doesn't get enough credit for the player.
The Islanders teams are incredible.
Yeah.
But the Panthers, they just can't bet against them now.
Nope. They'll be back.
Unfortunately.
Re-signed Marchand too. That's
Yeah.
Who would want to go play that? Everybody
Marchand's
wants to
back.
play that.
maybe
Yeah,
we
lose
had-
with Marchand.
Maybe we add Don Sweeney to that list.
Marchand was incredible this last postseason.
He was a step
If only the
above.
Bruins had a guy like
And
that.
I must say, it is so unfortunate the Panthers are only in town once this year, and it's in October.
Yeah.
Oh,
like doing
geez.
that. Get it over with. So,
Well, they got to have more. Only once.
Yeah.
Once. So the 26-27 season, there'll be 2 more games on the schedule, and then you'll be back to playing all division rivals for.
And we got the Olympic break this year,
You
too.
won't be shortchanged. But this year, we are shortchanged by 1.
You got the Olympic break this year too.
Yes, there's a long break in February.
That
good
just
to be back. Good to be back. It wasn't the same without the players.
I will say that the Four
Gotta have
Nations
the
was a
NHL,
nice
yeah.
little appetizer for
It
that.
was very nice.
Yeah.
I mean, when
That
you
was
see
amazing.
amateur game where guys are fighting, and it was literally the pride they had for their country and
Oh, yeah.
what they knew was on the line.
Some of the most physical hockey you'll ever.
Oh,
And it
yeah.
just shows you how much, and I know
Oh,
we're
yeah.
all biased with our sports, but Steve and I, being hockey guys, hockey's so great when it comes to that. They want to win, no matter, getting paid or not getting
yeah.
paid, and a lot of pride with, who they play for.
Yep, and it's not like they're getting a humongous paycheck either.
No.
So to see that pride, that was tremendous. So
Awesome.
Can't wait to see what the Olympics.
Yeah,
look like.
it'll be similar.
That was just a taste.
pretty good.
It's gonna be awesome. Be a lot of fun. Well, it is state tournament time. Throughout the MIAA, and many Hopkinton Hiller teams are competing in the postseason. And right now, we have some of the latest highlights, happenings, plus much more coming your way on HCAM Sports Talk. Of this game will advance to the round of 8. This is a round of 16 Division I game. And we shall see who will advance on. Sent out in front. Back to the right side. Kias. And sending it just off the top of the net was Kias. Miller is quick to get it back into Wellesley territory. And there's a shot and a good save there by the keeper. Distance shot there for Ayla Chase. Trying to get by the defender, sends it back out to Hoff. And here's the cross, out in front, and wrapped up. Good save by Illini. Sullivan gets it up the near side. Sent over by Briscoe. Trying to track it down. Ayla crosses it, and just out of play. And some nice moves there by Natalie Briscoe to get the ball back. Send it away. And that'll do it for the first half. A good back and forth battle, as you would expect. And the Hiller's looking for an attack. Is he done approaching? Here she comes towards the box. And she'll be diverted. Set back towards the net. And off the top of the net it goes. Just able to keep it in. Burnham towards the net, wrapped up. Good save by Illini. Side get wide open shots on net. The Hillers coming upfield now. They have numbers. Done towards the net, just wide. Sent out. Top of the box towards the net. Oh! Nye would get some contact there from Burnham, but able to wrap it up. Diaz takes it. Looking to get it towards the net here, and it's off the keeper's hands, and she dives and wraps it up. Great save by Nye. Throwing everything they can at the Hillers. There's a shot on net, wrapped up. Moves it up. Burnham looking to approach. Crosses it towards the net. Oh, off the keeper's hands, and she wraps it up. What a save by Illini. Here's a boot. Popped up and wrapped up by the Wellesley keeper, Cam Walsh. Sent up the middle. And deflected off of Ayla there. Is he done? Looking to attack. Here she comes. Towards the net. Takes it. Wrapped up. Good save by the keeper, Cam Walsh. A boot towards the net and wrapped up by Ella. Out in the box and wrapped up. And getting through, Emma Briscoe. Briscoe sends it across, looking for the shot. Oh! Just over the net. Moved upfield by Stevens towards the box and wrapped up by Nye. Nicely done once again by the Hiller goaltender. Airs it out towards the net. Oh! Wrapped up by Nye. And she's met with a big collision. Stopped for now. Sent out in front, towards the net, deflected. And another one towards the net, deflected by the defender, and then Nye able to wrap it up. What a sequence there. Here's it out in front, and it's grabbed by Illini. That is sent down towards the Hiller zone. Nye, good boot. Chow clears it away. And that is going to do it for overtime number 2. We are going to a shootout. Here's Pelty shot number 1. And it's in. Got it! We are even. There. And it's in. Alexa Hoff with the score. We're going to the bottom of the second here in this shootout. Chow. Got it! We're even once again. Sullivan on the shot. Got it. Got it. We're knotted at 3. And it's a save! Illinois with a big save there. And a save! That was Natalie Briscoe on the shot. A great save by Cam Walsh. And we remain even heading to the 5th round. There's the ball and another save! Illinois, tremendous save. Oh, it's in and the Oilers win! The Oilers win! Ayla Chase wins the game in the shootout! And the Oilers are advancing to the round of 8. Unbelievable! What a win out there. Ella, you had to make a lot of saves here tonight. How are you feeling right now?
I'm just feeling so grateful to be on this team, and just like the energy at the end of this game, I couldn't ask for anything better.
Now you had to deal with a lot of collisions out there as well. You doing okay?
I'm doing okay. It just kept me going, made me stronger.
Absolutely. Ayla, how did it feel to score that winning shot?
I'm not gonna lie, I was super nervous walking up. I knew that if I made that shot, we won, and I was feeling very nervous, but I knew that I was gonna be able to do it, and I wanted to do it for Ella because of all the hard work, and for our team because of all the hard work we've done for our team. It feels amazing.
And this was a tough physical defensive battle out there today, and really the whole team had to come through. Can I just have you both talk a little bit about your team's performance out there today?
I mean, we did it, I think, the whole team on and off the field. It starts from the bench. The bench's energy gets us going, and that's how we win our games. We win everybody, all 23 of us. And Wellesley's a great team. They put up a great fight, but at the end of the day, we wanted it more. And I think we all we worked so hard for this moment.
And it comes from practice too. The amount of work we put into practice every single day. I mean,
we knew this wasn't going to be our last game.
We knew it.
And Ella, you had that. You have that strong defense in front of you, protecting the box, and they really did a great job today. Can you talk about the defensive performance?
The defense, I mean, they kept me in check. I kept them in check. I think the chemistry we've created over, especially this past week, is really, really strong, and that's what won us the game. The defense, honestly.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Enjoy this one, and we'll see you in the round of 8.
See you next time.
Physical, defensive battle. First off, an incredible performance by Illinois and Net.
Yeah,
Can you
thank
just
you.
talk about her goaltending performance?
Yeah, it really speaks for itself. There's not much more I can say. I mean, if you watch the game, you know. But she is, for as good as she is on the field today and in the net, she's an even bigger influence and a bigger presence when it comes to team culture. At the beginning of the season, I don't think anyone expected her, behind Ayla and behind Taylor, for her to be starting, a second-round playoff game versus Wellesley. But she earned every second, and just because she quote-unquote was the backup at the beginning of the year, she just works tirelessly in practice. So we're so proud of her.
And Coach, it seems like your team, it took everybody to win this game, and they left it all on the field today.
Yeah. Both the 11 on the field and then the bench. We say it all the time, it takes all 23 because, Ella, as an example, you don't know when your number is going to get called. But even as we're starting to realize throughout the season, the bench energy is huge. It can turn tides, it can, influence a result. And we practice that at practice. We practice having energy. We practice having positive attitudes. We practice our body language, and it paid off today. That's what got us the result.
Girls, just real quick, how's it feel to be going to the round of 8? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into Concord Carlisle High School for state tournament field hockey as we are in the round of 16 in the MIAA Division I state tournament bracket. And our matchup today is 10th-seeded Hopkinton Hillers at 7th-seeded Concord Carlisle Patriots. The Hillers 8-6-5 on the season. Concord Carlisle with an overall record of 10-4-5 in this round of 16 state tournament matchup is underway. Burke had both goals in the Hiller playoff win against Brookline. Along the far side now, that is Nadia Quenca. Approaching into the attack area, centering pass, and that's put in! And the Hillers strike first. And that is the way you want to get things started. That is Mary Finnegan making it 1-0. The captain coming through for the Hillers. For the Hillers, she's been fantastic all season, and Lexi Ramirez, the goaltender for Concord Carlisle. The center on the penalty corner, that is Bryn Chaffee. She sends it in, and there's a shot, and that is put in. Abby Rubin with the score, responding for the Patriots. Chaffee sends it out, looking to attack, there's a shot. Wow, off the pass, Julia Reynolds with a one-timer type of shot, and it got right through the legs of Riley Curtin. Looking to attack, towards the net, out in front, and another score for Concord Carlisle. And I believe that was Sophia Arif. That is now going to make it a 3-1 game. Mary Finnegan sends it in. Fowler towards the net. Out in front, it's put in! A score for the Hillers! And that was none other than the captain, Abby Burke. The Hillers are right back in the game. Score comes at 13-19 left to go, and just a fantastic penalty corner by the Hillers there. Tremendous ball movement. Trying to move it up. Quenca able to get the turnover. To the near side. Here's Burke. Burke with some open field in front. Sends it over. Interante. Gets it out in front. Fowler looking for the shot. Into the attack area. And put in! Game-tying goal! And it's Mary Finnegan on the score! Just tremendous ball movement by the Hillers. Able to get into the attack area and tie the game up. Chaffee sends it out. Out in front, that's Ruman. Ruman, backhander, and deflected by a defender. And the Hillers clear the zone. The sender is going to be Ali Caudo. Sends it in. Ruman puts it towards the attack area. That shot deflected. And the Hillers...